America, America, yeah, coming again to save the day, yeah, America, yeah, freedom is the only way.
Hello. I'm a random British person. Allow me to talk about your dumb American flaws. In the 1860s, America ended their Civil War and is now in the process of reconstructing its country. But they didn't do a good job, creating a hard transition for the South, the rise of radical racism, and other issues. We always criticize America's actions, and are asked, how do we fix it? So this presentation will show a reconstruction plan for a more what I call a lit America. Let's begin. We'll start with readmission. Okay, so we made a truce, but we need to reinitiate the southern states into the country. Now, we would not let them in on a clean slate. The South will have some punishment, being that each state would be supervised and limited in their military inventory. But we still want to convince the South that it will be good to come back, so Wednesday help them repair the towns and give them some funding so they can keep up with the North in the overall construction. What about Southern economy? So the South has to now adapt new methods if they want to be successful. And while that does look hard, there are alternatives. The South will instead accept homeless, veterans, and immigrants, so there's not such a huge pay involved. As for taxes, we would make them retire based on the person's current wealth. What makes this different? You may ask. We would also have our materials manufactured and distributed around the world in order to collect more money. So what about racism? It's a big issue when discussing cultural views. People can easily protest for what they are doing as part of their religion and practice, and if you go against them you're oppressing their own religion and belief. To change this, we will establish a new bill. It will be called the No Fear of Freedom Bill. This bill will put each practice through a filtration process. The practice would have their representative discuss what is done daily, weekly, as well as an in-depth calendar explaining events that occur throughout the year. Periodic events and special cases will be discussed as well. Once everything is overlooked and checks out okay, the religion is allowed for public practice, although after establishment, an advisor, who's chosen by the government, looks over the practice for 2 years. First more strict than the second. Should anything unethical be seen publicly that is against the given information, the representative is prosecuted at risk of vetoing the practice. This is also helpful towards the law. Should a case come up where in private practice, the defendant claims it's his religion, there is now liability against him. Now we have a better net to catch any false beliefs. But there are still loyal Confederates. Yes, there are still Confederate leaders. And honestly, we'd just give them respect. They are still well-renowned generals. We wouldn't put them on trial, in fact we would let them continue to serve their state, although they need to give an oath of allegiance. There must be more issues. Of course there are other issues to discuss. But one we should point out is startup, which involves any rising structure that is used to benefit the community. In those cases, the government would provide a small loan which would be paid back within 2 years, with no interest. This place would also have a building tax, which is paid by the owner of the land. The tax ratio applies here as well. Okay, so what? I can understand that enforcement would be a problem, but it's actually not that hard. We will just edit the Constitution. This will seal any loopholes in the Constitution. While people might complain it will take a lot of time, it's better than going through that time with black codes and other hidden loopholes. Hopefully this was a presentation worth the wait. I hope you all now see this lit alternate reality for a lit America.